What up? What up? What up, Ninja Nation? Welcome to another episode of Car Chronicle Reviews with myself, Scooter Ray, aka Scooter Lou, and Arroyo Miss. I know how to mess up my own name. Right? You know what I'm saying? You only get these things in CCRs. But yeah, Arroyo and I are here to talk about You People, Netflix's newest, most recent. I don't know. Netflix dropped so many movies.
Yeah,
But let's just say it's Netflix's most recent big budgeted movie. How about that?
that's a good one.
Uh, You People stars Jonah Hill, Lauren London, Eddie Murphy, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Nia Long, David Duchovny, Sam J, and others. And others.
Kim Whitley.
Um, what were your thoughts going into the movie? Like seeing trailers and going into the movie.
At first, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna be. I was like, ugh. And then I was like, ooh, I love Jonah Hill and I love Lauren London. Then when I saw Eddie Murphy, I was like, now I have to watch it. There's no way. There's no
Okay.
way. So
Um,
I just like whatever it's about, it's about.
the initial trailer, I don't know if it was the initial trailer or initial teaser, but the initial whatever I saw was that scene where they was in the restaurant where Jonah Hill was talking to Eddie Murphy and Nia Long. So I don't know if that was the initial trailer or just a teaser, but that's the initial thing I saw. And per that conversation, I was like, because like it was bits and pieces of it, of course, chopped up, but it was like, I'm in. I don't even care what the rest of the movie about. I'm in. But of course, for people out there who don't know, this is written by Jonah Hill and Kenya Barris, and Kenya Barris does have a very polarized career when it comes to his shows and writing. If you're not familiar with it, he wrote Blackish, Mixish, Grownish. He did Black AF that was on Netflix a few years ago. So he catch flack of interracial things and all this stuff. So it was already going to be polarizing going in because Kenya Barris's career and I guess his standing in Hollywood and how people feel about his movies and his writing, which he does make a cameo in the movie, by the way. But he was the guy. Remember when they sat on the plane and remember it was on the plane and then after Eddie Murphy got up, the other guy sat down.
Yeah.
And it was like, what kind of serial killer? He was like, what kind of serial killer would do something like that? He was like, I've done it. That was
Yeah.
Kenya Barris.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But
I've never seen Blackish, Mixedish,
well,
Childish, with none of those.
well, Blackish is supposed to be loosely based off of kind of his story, in a sense. Black AF, he actually starred in it, and that was a show that came out on Netflix a few years back, and it was him and Rashida Jones.
Okay. Okay.
And of course, other people. But yeah. So after all of that, once again, I went into the movie. I mean, the star power alone was like, I bet I'm in. And after watching this movie, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've been seeing, of course, mixed reviews and mixed feelings, but I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I thought the comedy was there.
Yes.
I thought the overall thing, because honestly, I feel, and this is just me, this is probably how an interracial relationship would probably be in today's society, in today's climate.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go ahead and talk right quick when you go get those.
I totally agree. Having had several interracial relationships myself, people always have something to say. And if you're not careful, it'll get into your head and it'll plant seeds of negativity. And that's not really what you want. To me, the movie was about our love being enough, and no matter what everybody says, no matter what everybody puts into, it's not their business. They need to stay in their lane and mind their business and let those people love who they love. It doesn't, race is just a construct. Like, it's just a thing. Like, if you love somebody, that doesn't have a race on it, you know? And Jonah Hill, I feel like, really played himself in this movie
It
because,
really does seem like it.
yeah, like, I never knew those things about Jonah Hill until like years ago when he did some type of interview. And I was like, oh, okay. But the guys that I've dated outside my race, it wasn't about race. It was about, did he treat me properly? Was he cool? Was he fun? Was he nice? You know, did we have a good time together? Did we have chemistry? You know, all of those things. And at the end of the day, I think the message, I've seen a lot of negative reviews about it,
Mhm.
especially from Black people.
That's who the
Yeah,
most that I've been seeing the negative reviews, if we're honest. Yeah.
but the message, I think they skipped it. I think they were like, well, the chemistry wasn't between Lauren London and Jonah Hill. Okay, now what? The story, the message of the story is there. And the message is, leave them people alone. Love who you want to love. Period.
And,
Period.
to go off of that, I thought Jonah and Lauren had a pretty good chemistry. I mean, because like I said, it wasn't like did they expect them to be so lovey-dovey that we think that they could be a couple for real? Like
Yeah.
I thought the chemistry would be there because considering it's a very modern tale, it seemed like that's how it would be. I mean, to just describe one scene, which is actually in a trailer, how he even met her.
Yeah. Oh, I
You
love this.
know, she was lost. He thought it was her Uber. He thought that that was his Uber. He gets in the car. She's freaking out, and she's like, "Oh, would you just think you one of them white people who's so entitled to this and the other? You think we all look alike?" And you talking about her name is it was some African name,
Yeah.
and
Long.
he was like, "Okay, to be fair, just look at the picture." She looks at the picture and she was like, "Oh my God, we do look alike."
That was the cutest thing.
And she was like,
Oh
"Oh
my
my
God.
God." She was like, "We really do look alike." And from that, that's where it takes off. So I mean, even in that aspect, that the modernness of the fact that he's getting into an Uber.
Right.
I mean, just so happens he's lost, getting into an Uber. Of course, it plays into that stereotype of all black people look alike. From that, found him charming. They went out to lunch. And literally from the lunch, you could even see how it progressed in the lunch.
Good.
That, the relationship. And then, the whole thing of just get more into the story. Her family, Lauren's family, they're Muslim. Jonah's family, Jewish. So there's even more layers to things
Yeah.
because we seen Jewish people being in the news thanks to a certain rapper. Uh, and then of course Muslim and how that whole thing is portrayed and how it's viewed in America. So all of that clashing, it made sense.
It did.
And once
It did.
again, like you said, you had Jonah and Lauren in the middle, like we just want to be in love.
Right. We just want to
Like,
be
yeah, like yeah, he knows I'm Muslim. Yeah, she knows I'm Jewish, but we were seeing past all of that.
right. Not that big of a deal.
And then one of Jonah's best friends was black.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I liked her though. She was
yeah,
cool.
yeah, she was. Um, but yeah, so it made sense. Like I said, it wasn't like I don't know if once again, maybe it could be the whole Kenya Barris hate and the the going in already with this misconception that if I'm going to this, then I'm going to get this. But I thought Eddie Murphy and Julia Louis-Dreyfus played their roles to perfection.
To perfection.
Like
I
all
mean,
of it.
first of all, let's be real. I have not seen Eddie Murphy play a bad role. I think he's phenomenal. Even if the role may be weak or whatever, but he makes it his own, and he gon' Eddie Murphy every time. It's always a win for me because I love Eddie Murphy, you know. But he was hilarious. He was
Because the
hilarious.
thing was, he was so, like, the thing is, for a comedic legend like Eddie Murphy, the way he had to deliver his lines was so just deadpan serious. I know I would have been laughing too much.
Absolutely.
I know I would have been laughing too much.
Listen, every time David Duchovny
Oh my
mentioned
God.
Exhibit, I was in tears. I wouldn't have been able to do this. I would have been in tears. David Duchovny was serious about Exhibit.
And then the fact that he even did a pre-wedding toast talking about this man's biography in the toast.
Serious.
Like, I'm telling you, like, everything, I felt that every person played their role the way it was meant to be played.
Absolutely.
Now, whether you feel that this should have been a movie or, you know, theater movie, or whether you thought it was supposed to be funnier, whether you thought it was like, I don't know what people truly thought was going to, what this movie was going to truly be going in, but it's one of those movies, it makes sense because one, the conversation surrounding race, and two, how to navigate through all of that.
Yes.
And that's literally what the movie did.
I saw somebody make a comment that saying that interracial relationships don't end that easy. And I was like, see, that's why it don't end that easy right there. Because of people like you. Because the parents realize it's not about them. It's about the happiness of their kids. And you directly got in the middle of that and destroyed their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, some relationships don't end that way, but it should be somebody saying, hey, I need to take a step back. You know, like I need to stop pushing how I feel or my narrative on this person and making them feel uncomfortable, making them feel away. Because in honesty, Julia, say the rest of her name, Julia
Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes. She made Lauren feel uncomfortable. Lord knows Eddie Murphy made Jonah Hill feel uncomfortable. And that wasn't necessary. That's the whole point. That wasn't necessary. You don't have to test somebody's gangster or whatever just because they're not the same race as you. You can treat them like a normal person and you don't have to do extra shit to make them feel included or anything like that. Just treat them like normal human beings.
And
I thought that was the point.
And like you were saying, to kind of, because not to want to fully spoil, because we want people to go out there and watch it. Like, be your own judge. But kind of like what Aranya was saying. How many, in regular everyday life, how many times have you encountered someone of a different race and they put on a show to try to seem like they fit in or be cool? Because there's been times throughout history, it's no secret, you walk into somebody different, oh, I listen to DMX and such. Okay.
You're like,
okay, cool.
Right. I didn't ask you that. Like, okay. I
don't. I'm known to jam some Linkin Park too. Like, I mean, okay. Like, you know, like, how am I supposed to counteract that? Like, it's good. You listen to what you listen to. You watch what you want to watch. Like, you don't have to validate to me that you with it. Like, just, okay. You know, so, and that's what that movie was trying, and that's what that movie was doing. Yeah. It was showing that we don't have to do all of this.
You don't. And I feel like, and this is something that I say all the time, the organicness of a relationship is super important. It doesn't matter the culture or whatever. If you find an organic relationship with someone, the person can be your same race and you cannot have an organic relationship with them. It can be very forced. It can be very uncomfortable. So,
I mean, remember that one scene where the ex came to her quoting some stuff, and she was like, "Well, let me see the phone."
Right.
So yeah, you were right.
It's if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And it's not dictated by what color is on your skin. It's just not. It's just you get along with that person and you cool. But as long as you let other people in your business like that, they can and will ruin stuff for you. You need to set them straight and be like, hey, no, because that's what I've always done. It doesn't matter who I'm dating. If I'm dating someone and I bring them to the crew, hey, don't scare them off. Don't be acting weird. Act normal.
Right.
Because I don't want them being like, I'm gonna go. I'm scared.
Like this who you hang out with?
Right. Like, no. So yeah, I loved it though. I really did.
Yeah,
I loved it.
like I said, I had plenty of laughs, plenty of chuckles. I got the story. I wasn't trying to go into it, hearing the negative commentary that was already surrounding it. And once again, I think that's what happens a lot. People hear the negativity going into it and their brains immediately catch everything. Like, for instance, if you go into a Michael Bay movie, you're like, all right, I know Michael Bay is at least going to have 7 explosions.
You know it.
It's going to be like some army dude somewhere screaming something. It's like you're going to try to play the Michael Bay bingo card when you go see the movie. And then you're going to be like, yep. So
it's not necessary.
It's not necessary. And, once again, for Kenya and Jonah to write this, like, one of the most funniest scenes that's been floating around on the social media was when Eddie and Jonah was in the car and he was playing N-Word in Paris. And he was trying to get Jonah to say the song. And the conversation that was surrounding that was one of the funniest things ever.
Yep.
To just peel the layers back on that scene. He was like, yeah, it was friends in Paris or something like that. If like me, your daughter, and y'all two, and he was like, yeah, 3/4 of the song would be in Paris.
Like, come on, this is gold.
And then like seeing because like in that scene, it was so uncomfortable because you could see Jonah was like, I need to escape this car.
Right. I just want to dive out the car.
Like, I'm going to just open the door and just tuck and roll.
I want to know how much was improv because I know.
Oh, it had to have been a lot.
Yeah.
It had to.
Oh, man. Like, to me, it was hilarious. And my thing is this, and this may sound non-PC or whatever, but in my humblest of opinions, if you are against interracial relationships, don't watch the movie and then badmouth.
Because you're going to go into it wanting to diss it.
Right. You already mad. And to me, most of the people, what I read, the negative comments, they're not into interracial relationships. Again, don't shit on somebody else's joy. If you're not into it, fine. Stay in your lane. But don't go into the movie and watch it and then be like, oh, it sucked because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, what? Shut up. That's what I have to say. Shut up.
Basically, you're right. Like, shut up. Like, you're absolutely right. Like, and I think that's what upsets me with a lot of people today. Like, for instance, don't go into the movie knowing you have a thing with Jonah Hill or a thing with Eddie Murphy or Lauren London or anything like that, because then you're going to find a reason to automatically start hating on the movie.
Exactly.
Like you said, if you're against interracial relationships, don't go into watching this movie.
Exactly.
If you're into topics like what was in the movie and you go into it, like, why would you watch it? Why would you spend almost 2 hours watching the movie when, topics like this trigger you and things like that?
Exactly. I don't watch movies that annoy me, that off top I know are going to annoy me. Like,
because now your purpose is to want to go on social media And well, I thought this movie was blah blah blah. That was your purpose.
Exactly. You don't
You
have
want
nothing
to be another person to get your quote unquote voice out there for reasons.
Go clean your kitchen. There it is. That's what I have to say. Go clean your kitchen. Because at the end of the day, like, nobody needs your negativity.
Mhm.
Even if you are not in interracial relationships, do you want somebody to come to your job just because you exist and spit on you and be like, you suck? No. And we are talking about working actors who produce and they worked on this. And, films take a while to make. It's not like they did this in a day, so at least respect the craft that they are trying to portray. And each one of them read their role and was like, I got this. I can do this. So don't disrespect them, and they're working hard. And I said that about Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah,
Those people worked hard. Like, they worked hard at the end of the day. And you can at least give them that much respect. That's all I
yeah.
have.
And then even in that regard too, um, it wasn't like it was a disrespectful movie either.
No.
They didn't disrespect white people. They didn't disrespect black people. They didn't disrespect Jewish people. They didn't disrespect Muslim people. So it wasn't like it was disrespectful anyway.
Right.
So it was just you either gonna love it, hate it situation. But if you're gonna hate it for reasons that make sense.
Right.
Don't hate it because oh Eddie Murphy's in it. Well, why did you go see it?
Right. Duh.
Like, why would you see it? If you have a thing for Eddie Murphy, why would you watch the movie?
Exactly.
Especially when it tells you it stars Eddie Murphy.
Okay. It's the Eddie Murphy.
I mean, like one person they showed in the trailer, Mike Epps. If you like, oh, I hated this movie because Mike Epps was in it. Mike Epps had 5 minutes of screen time altogether.
Right. He had 3 different parts and it was a total of 5 minutes.
Mike Epps had 5 minutes of screen time altogether. So you telling me out of a 2-hour movie, you hate the whole movie because Mike Epps had 5 minutes.
No, that's why I'm like, no, go away. Go sit down and clean your kitchen. Leave me alone. Like,
But like I said, without delving really into spoilers, go see the movie.
yeah.
It is a modern tale. It wraps up nicely. I know I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face in a lot of those scenes.
Never.
A lot, like honestly, if I was really in this movie, I couldn't have a starring role.
No.
I would have to been like a friend or I'm only in this one scene because between the main cast members, nah,
No.
they would have been like, Scoot, can you be serious? I'm trying.
Right. They need to
Tell
stop.
him don't look like how he looked when he delivered his lines then. Tell her don't look at me in the eye when she say what she say.
Exactly.
How about that?
It was good stuff, man. It was good stuff. I enjoyed it.
But yeah, Netflix's You People, once again, Jonah Hill, Lauren London, Eddie Murphy, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, David Duchovny, Nia Long, Sam J, a
Lala.
lot of us,
I just keep picking random people that I saw that I was like, ooh, Lala.
right?
Oh,
Lala, Young
okay.
Miami. A lot of folks is in this.
Oh,
A
she
lot
was the
of people.
with the boobs, right?
Huh?
Young Miami was the one with the boobs?
Yeah, that was the other friend with Lala. Yeah.
Was that the cousin?
I think they were cousins.
Okay.
I think they did say they were cousins, yeah.
I didn't know who she was. I was like, who is that little ghetto girl?
One of them city girls. There you go.
Yeah, y'all know I'm old. I don't recognize people like that. I'm like,
but yeah, like I said, Netflix, You People, it's been out now, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Week? 2 weeks? Week.
I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Check it out. It's worth your time.
Yeah.
Worth your time.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think. Let us know in the comments. If you liked it, hated it, let us know how you feel about You People. I mean, even the title, You People.
Hilarious.
But yeah, on behalf of the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas, Scooter Lou, Erana and Miss, Shout out to Cosmic Ball.
Bloopers.
Until next time, everybody. Hey.